Christmas at Creedy Lake. Hidden away in a forgotten stretch of forest, far from any main road, lies a lake named Creedy Lake, named after the couple who once lived on its shore. By day, it's a place of quiet beauty. Sunlight filters through the towering pines, casting dappled shadows on the water's glassy surface. Wild grasses sway at the shoreline, and the air is thick with the scent of pine and earth, untouched and serene. But locals rarely visit anymore, especially after dark, and now most refer to it as Creedy Lake. Fred and Franny Creedy had built their cabin by the lake many years ago, when they were still young and full of dreams for a quiet, simple life close to nature. When they first constructed it, their love had been like the beams and planks, strong, warm, and enduring. Their days were spent in harmony with nature, and their evenings in each other's arms, dancing across the cabin floor to their favorite tunes. But as the decades passed, something changed. Their once strong bond began to fray, worn down by the small grievances and quiet resentments that had crept into their lives. The dances grew rare, replaced by long silences and bitter words. Slowly, the warmth that had once filled the cabin faded, replaced by a cold hostility that neither could shake. The once quiet home became filled with bickering, resentment simmering under the surface. One bitter night, just days before Christmas, the tension reached its breaking point. Franny, her hands trembling with a mixture of rage and despair, crept up behind Fred as he dozed in his armchair, the firelight flickering across his lined face. She gripped a cast-iron frying pan, heavy and cold as her heart, and swung it hard. The blow was not enough. Fred stirred, a groan escaping his lips, and with a snarl of determination, Franny wrapped a string of Christmas lights around his neck. She pulled tighter and tighter until his struggles ceased. The cabin seemed impossibly quiet as she wrapped Fred's lifeless body in the lights, winding them around him like garland. She dragged him out to the old rowboat, its wood creaking under his weight, and rowed to the lake's center. The water swallowed Fred without a sound, and Franny rowed back to shore, feeling the cold bite of winter in the darkness. That should have been the end of the tale. Whether Franny regretted her actions, no one knows. But on the night of Christmas Eve, strange lights began to glow beneath the lake's surface, pale, shimmering, and eerily festive. The lights moved slowly toward the shore, growing brighter. Then, emerging from the frigid depths, came Fred. His waterlogged form staggered onto the snowy bank, Christmas lights still wrapped around him, faintly glowing like an ominous holiday beacon. His eyes, sunken and hollow, stared ahead as he trudged through the snow toward the cabin. The front door creaked open as Fred pushed inside, dripping lake water onto the old wooden floors. His voice rasped through the silence, calling up the stairs. "Where is my wife? It's Christmas time, and I want to dance." In her bedroom, Franny awoke with a start. The voice was unmistakable. She squeezed her eyes shut, praying it was just a dream. "Come to me, Franny," Fred's voice boomed, even closer now. She could hear his heavy footsteps on the stairs. "Come to me, my love." Franny lay frozen with fear, trembling beneath the covers. Her heart pounded as a heavy knock sounded on her bedroom door. "Are you in there, my love?" Fred's voice called, mimicking the warmth he once had, yet laced with something cold and terrifying. With a crash, the bedroom door burst open, and there stood Fred, his pale, bloated skin stretched tight over sunken features, dripping with murky lake water. A string of lights hung around him, tangled and twisted like a serpent, flickering dimly against his decayed flesh. It's time to die, and then we dance for eternity, he screamed, his lips pulled back into a ghastly, unnatural smile. Franny tried to scream, but the sound was choked off as the Christmas lights tightened around her throat, digging into her skin. Fred's icy hands held her firmly, his grip unyielding as he dragged her from the bedroom, down the creaking stairs, and out into the biting night air. Snow crunched beneath her feet as he pulled her across the frozen ground toward the lake, its dark surface looming ahead. Without hesitation, he plunged her into the icy water. The cold closed over her, filling her lungs and dragging her down into the silent, suffocating darkness. Now, the cabin stands abandoned, its roof sagging and windows shattered, overtaken by time and neglect. Legend has it that on some bitter winter nights, the faint sound of Christmas music drifts from the ruins. And if one dares to look out onto the frozen lake, they may catch a glimpse of ghostly lights shimmering beneath the ice, swaying slowly as Fred and Franny dance their eternal waltz in the dark, icy waters below.